So hello, and at the moment I'm imagining that all of you who are present here for our YouTube meditation is welcoming each other. We're all welcoming each other. We're all greeting each other and appreciating the shared companionship to the degree to which doing the same thing at the same time um, and sharing the same focus here. So thank you for being here. So one way or the other, when we come to do meditation, we are ascribing or assigning some meaning to what we're doing, some sense of purpose, some sense of the values of what it's for, some sense of the context of it in our wider life, some way in which it serves kind of maybe ultimate values we have, religious values, spiritual values, all kinds of ways in which are there on the edges or at the center of doing meditation. And one of them is our values. And some people clearly bring along values when they meditate. Maybe things that they've inherited from their society, their family, and some of them are deeply unconscious, it's just a matter of fact. And some of them evolve and develop in the course of meditation practice, engagement with Buddhism, that we acquire new values. So whether it's an old value or a new value, one of the central values for Buddhism, and I would propose for people who mature in this practice of meditation, is non-harming. That there's a very thoroughgoing devotion, interest, sensitivity to living a life of not harming at all. And often that idea is assigned to the idea of not harming anything outside of ourselves, the other people, the world. And that's true. But in meditation, the primary care around not harming is not harming oneself. And what we learn about not harming ourselves through meditation is directly applicable to how we live that life in the world around us. That the very things that we do that cause harm to ourselves are one way or the other a support for that spilling out onto others in the world. So to sit and meditate where there's care given that we don't harm ourselves, and that takes the form of not criticizing ourselves, not being upset or angry with ourselves. But of course we will be sometimes. The very significant part of this practice is to appreciate the degree to which you don't have to take responsibility for the particular impulses, thoughts, feelings when they first appear. What we take responsibility for is how then we respond to them, react to them. So if there is a hostile thought that arises in the mind, maybe hostile towards oneself, the teachings of not taking it personally, it's just, that's what the mind is doing. Don't define ourselves by it. But in the wake of it, what is the non-harming thing to do? not be hostile towards the hostility, not hostile to ourselves, not pull away and shut down and give up and all kinds of things that we do. What is the non-harming thing that can be done in this practice is simply to see it clearly with kindness. And if kindness is too much, just to see it clearly. So, for whatever arises in this meditation, when it first arises, let it be known. And in that knowing, practice non-harming, radical non-harming, as you sit here and practice. So to begin with an upright, or maybe say it differently for those of you who don't sit upright, a dignified posture. Something about how you dispose your body, the posture of your body, is to kind of embodies your dignity, your value, your importance. Maybe in a way that lets your chest avoid collapsing or crunching up. A way in which your neck is a little bit straightened and gently close the eyes. And feeling the contact with whatever supports your weight. And almost as if the inhale begins there, taking a few long, slow, deep breaths. If you want to get a little more benefit from taking these initial deep breaths, calmly count to 5 on the inhale, count to 5 on the exhale. To have your inhale be that long. And then letting your breathing return to normal, letting go of the counting. And sitting here quietly, devotedly to being present with your mindfulness, present with the breathing, and devoted to non-harming, not responding to anything in ways that cause harm in attitude, motivation, belief. And if you do, let go the best you can. And perhaps your mindfulness is a non-harming wind that blows gently on whatever it is you're aware of. somewhat like a pebble being dropped into a quiet lake, and the ripples spread out throughout the lake. So I drop the concept of non-harming into you, and let the ripples of non-harming spread out to touch all of who you are. And then as we come to the end of this sitting, to turn our attention to how we will be living our life for the next day or so. And independent of all the things or the few things that we'll be doing, if all we do is to live a life dedicated to non-harming, that would be enough. You don't have to be kind. You don't have to be compassionate and loving. You don't have to wish everyone well. but a radical non-harming, to become for someone, everyone else become someone who's safe, someone for whom no one needs to fear. No one feels aggression or assertion or dominance. No one receives judgments, prejudice. Everyone is seen through eyes rooted in not causing any harm, inwardly and outwardly. Just this is one of the greatest ways of living a life. May it be that on this next day, whatever benefit we receive from this meditation, from our practice, from being mindful, may it serve to support being in this world in a non-harming way. May all beings benefit from our harmlessness. Thank you. So the topic for this week has to do with the meaning that meditation has for us. And I know some people, like myself at one point, were a little bit allergic to the idea of meaning. But as I've come to understand the word, that it's really a broad word that covers a lot of ways in which we assign purpose, assign roles, assign functions, assign value, assign all these things to the activities of our lives, to the events of our lives. That how we understand it or interpret it in the context of our life story, context of our society, context of our beliefs. And there's no shortage of the many, many ways in which we, one way or the other, assign some interpretation to the meditation we're doing. So this week we're trying to bring some of that out and have you be more reflective about it in a way that would help your meditation, both in that it would help you not get caught up in assigned meanings that are not useful for you, get in the way, but also to recognize the useful ones are there to support, to give buoyancy, to give momentum, to give strength to meditation as well, to help you stay focused in what you're doing. So today the topic is the values that we live by and the role, the connection that meditation might have with those values. And it's hard to imagine that there's people who have no values at all, no ethical values, no sense of prioritizing certain attitudes to how to be in the world. And some of them might be healthy and supportive of self and others, and some of them might be harmful for self and others. But how does meditation fit into it? It would be unfortunate for someone who's a thief, who feels that it's fine to steal. They have no problem with it, and in fact they feel proud of their ability to steal. And they assign the value, importance of meditation has for them is it centers them, calms them down so that they can do their profession effectively. That would be quite sad because of the harm that that does. But someone who is a caregiver, for example, and the value is to give the best care to someone in a medical setting or any kind of setting. And for them, meditation has the value of doing the same, of grounding them, centering them, um, preparing them for the best, so that the best of them can be present with wisdom and clarity for caring for the people in their care. And so here, where the values we have, how we want to live, are brought to bear on meditation, and meditation is used to serve that purpose. One of the things that really inspires me is people who want to live honestly, to really live, without any lies, any deceit, just really want to have the truth be the forefront. And with that as a value, mindfulness can be really a support for that. Mindfulness is a truth-telling practice. It's a way of connecting to what's true, finding what's true. And so here, the assigned function, the assigned meaning, the interpretation of what meditation is that it's truth-making. Someone else, the values could be harmlessness. And so the function, the meaning, the purpose of meditation is to live a more harmless life. Someone else, their value is enlightenment, full, complete, total enlightenment. And so for them, the value, the purpose, the functions assigned to meditation is that this is going to support them to find a way to that enlightenment. There can be multiple functions happening at the same time. There can be, meditation can be the same meditation can be done for different purposes. It can be both for many purposes. It can be for truth-telling, for de-stressing, for coming with more groundedness to work that we do, to being on a path to awakening. So it's not like you're choosing one over the other, but to have some clarity about what's important, maybe what's most important around the values we have. And maybe even picking and choosing between the things that are important for us, so we can give emphasis to one thing to do really well. If we have too many values, too many purposes, everything gets watered down. Nothing really kind of takes root and flowers. And sometimes in order to really do well, we have to kind of choose, this is what meditation is about. This is what I'm developing and doing here, and have some clarity with it. And what the benefit of that is that no matter what the purpose is, and the really sense of getting behind it and having some dedication to it, as meditation deepens, it kind of blossoms out into all these different dimensions of our life. So you might put aside certain things as the purpose, the value, and later you'll find that if it's a healthy purpose, it returns in a whole different way. It may be a little bit like someone who, moves to a foreign country where they have a different language, and really wants to be friends with everyone on the street, and goes around trying to be friends but can't speak the language at all. And so they dedicate themselves to learning the language, and once it's learned, they find that walking down the street, that it's really easy to make these connections now because of shared language. So regardless of what the purpose is for meditation, learning to meditate well opens up in such a wonderful way to so many different things. So what are the values? Some people center their life on the values that they have more than the goals that they have, the work that they have, what they're trying to do in their life. And some people, how they live is more important than what they do. And I think that in Buddhist practice, I think that we emphasize much more the how than the what. That whatever what meditation is for, the way to it is by caring really carefully for the how we are. That we're not living a harmful way, that we're doing what's beneficial, that we're learning to be at peace and relaxed, non-attached. learning to be kind and supportive, learning to have care to what we do, learning to be honest in all ways, learning to let go. So many different things so that we can be at ease, have equanimity, be at peace here and now. Some people's lives is the value they have is to be of service, to live a life of generosity and support. And so then meditation serves that purpose for them. For some people, it's to live a life of really practicing Dharma for its own sake. And with the result of that, they want to live a life of service. So all these things kind of shifting and changing. In fact, over a lifetime of practice, it's fascinating to see how what the interface is between meditation and the way we live our lives, the purpose, the values we have, what we emphasize as being important, the assigning of meaning, assigning of importance, of functions to meditation and to our life and back and forth. And it shifts and changes in a dynamic way. And to hold on to any one way, any one purpose, any one meaning for what meditation is, sooner or later we'll get all bottled up, get kind of limited and come to a dead end. And but rather to keep opening up, keep kind of looking and feeling and sensing all the different ways and functions and meanings and purposes that evolve over the years of practicing more and more. And it's like a dynamic stuff that happens. It's like I don't know. It's like having a good friend, and over the years, the friendship shifts and changes as the two of you change and shift, and but somehow you stay connected and involved, and things flow back and forth and change and unfold, and but because of the commitment to stay present and stay connected, that you all change together. So the same thing with meditation. So to understand some of the values that you live by and that come into bear on meditation, and some of them, are, and then see how they shift and change. And one of the way they change is they move. Sometimes we discover through meditation that some of the values, some of the assigned purposes, some of the attitudes we have about meditation don't work, that they're actually harmful for us. Straining in meditation, being attached to states of mind that we're going to attain, holding on to calm, holding on to bliss that might be there. These are all, these kind of holding on and wanting and overvaluing particular states of mind are kind of a dead end. They're not really that helpful. And so if a value is, it's all about attaining a state. It's all about having, some wonderful experience so that I can just add it to my repertoire of wonderful experiences. That's kind of a dead end to go to attain, to experience the full potential of what meditation can be about. If there's a lot of conceit involved in meditation, and the assigned meaning has to do with, I'm going to be the best meditator on my block, and everyone will like me, and accolades of how wonderful I am because I'm such a wonderful meditator. Or if I meditate well, then my meditation teacher will praise me and put me up on a pedestal and will be happy ever after. So those kinds of assigning of meaning, assigning of purpose, assigning of function are dead ends. And they'll just, end up kind of knocking your head against that dead end until, you go find a different way. So to look deeply, what is the meaning of meditation? What's the function? What's its purpose for me? So here's an exercise I'd recommend that you do for these next 24 hours until we meet again. And that is, with a paper or with a computer, um, write the words. Meditation means. For me, meditation means. And then fill in the rest of it. And do that 100 times. And every time write something different. And so I know I would have some years ago, many years ago, I would have I would have written down, meditation means nothing. I was kind of would have dismissed the whole exercise. But then, because it's 100 different times, you have to kind of keep going. And meditation means that I sit on my cushion. Meditation means that I sit early in the morning. You can say kind of physical things like that, but does that really get to your heart? Does it really get to some deeper thing? And just kind of keep writing 100 times. For me, meditation means. And after a while, you can drop the "for me," but that's the idea behind it. And see what you discover, and stretch yourself. It doesn't have to be all at one sitting to do all 100 in one time, but maybe over the 24 hours, you can write down 100, fill in that sentence 100 times. So thank you very much, and I hope that the exercise is enjoyable and useful for you, and then we'll finish this series tomorrow. Thank you.